Hey, in this video we're going to be doing something a little different. Normally we will do a full review and have a little different segments about a bike, but I've already done a review on this bike about 3 months ago because this is the KBO Breeze. It is a step-thru model and I really did like this bike quite a bit. It's been about 3 months since I've last ridden it on the review. Just was so busy doing certain things. The weather got really cold, had other reviews to do, but I jumped back on this bike, and over the next about 12 minutes or so while you're riding along with me, I just want to go ahead and do a secondary commentary about this bike because it is a great commuter bike. There's a lot of people who are looking forward to getting a bike this year and they're saving up for it, or they're just kind of, the weather's warming up and they're ready to go ahead and say, let's go ahead and pick an e-bike. And I'm getting a lot of questions from a lot of different people about, hey, what kind of bike would I recommend someone get? And I used to go through a gamut of questions. And so while looking at this bike itself, I want to start off by saying back in November, about 3 months ago, you can take a look. I'll have a link for the video in the description and also on the screen here, where you can go back and if you want to watch the full version of this while I go every part for part and go over the bike in detail as well, and with some other ride footage that's on there. But I wanted to start with actually going, now that I've ridden it for a little while longer, to really give a different kind of a review on it as well, or an update on it. So first of all, this is a commuter style bike. It has really nice size frame, a nice size tire. Really, I'm going to be actually pulling up the website here on my screen so that I want to make sure I don't miss anything. And because you're with me for the next 12 minutes as we're going over this, I really want to go into detail in a different way. Like I said, talking about the benefits of everything that I'm mentioning as I go over this stuff. So we're going to start with the specs here. And first and foremost, the main thing I want to talk about is the size of this battery, because range anxiety is real. I mean, if you've never gotten on an e-bike, you're going to figure out that sooner or later you want to know if you have enough charge on a bike. So of course, the bigger the battery, the more charge you hold, it's going to have I guess a little more peace of mind if your battery is full, that you can go further and you don't have to worry about trying to pedal at home without any power. So this has a 48 volt 16 amp hour battery. Now that is a larger size battery than most bikes that actually are in this type of frame style. So this is a good size battery to start you with. That can get you around 30 to 55 miles. But the other thing is that this bike is also a 500 watt powered motor on there, so it can carry a capacity of about 300 pounds. Now that's with you and a payload capacity that's added to the rack itself. So you have a total payload capacity of 300 pounds. The controller puts out 18 amps, and with that, a 500 watt motor, but it can go up to a 750 watt peak power. And we have a pedal assist of 0, 5 to 5, so there's 5 different levels of pedal assist that you get out of this bike as well. So talking about, again, next the range, we have this 30 to 55 mile range, and that's because it depends on the weight of the person, the type of riding you're doing, the terrain that you're going on. The range will vary. The 55 miles is often a rated range at peak or optimal conditions. That means flat land, maybe 150 pound rider, and maybe with no wind or that, so you'll get a peak range of that. And sometimes you can get even more depending on how much you're actually helping it. Of course, 30 could be just strictly just throttle alone, and that's actually a pretty decent mileage that you'll get on that. The other thing I really like about this is when I'm asking people their questions about what kind of bike they like, the first thing, if I've never seen them before, is what is their height. And believe it or not, I get asked by a lot of people who are friends of friends and I've never seen them before, and they ask, I'm looking for a bike, I hear you know a little bit about them, what would you recommend? Where should I start? How do I look into bikes? And the one thing I always talk about is, first of all, what kind of rider are you, but also what is your height? And that is a lot, mainly because I found, as a rider who's only 5 foot 5 inches, there's a lot of e-bikes, I say almost like majority of e-bikes are made for people who are 5'6", 5'7", and above, and even sometimes 5'8" and above. These are bigger bikes, and this is one bike that actually does start at a 5'2" range, and that is also because it's a step-thru. So it does make a big difference on having a frame like this. It is more versatile as far as the range of riders that are on there, because at 5'2", now you can have your smaller riders jump on there. Now, I would like to say that the reach is a little far for someone who might be 5'2", so they do need to make some adjustments of bringing the handlebar in, which is just a simple adjustment, just by loosening the neck screw, and you can kind of tilt the handlebars in a little bit. Then you just kind of have to adjust the levers and make sure that it fits right for that. So it does have a good range of riders that can actually get on this. And the good thing about it as well is I also asked about people about the strength of their riding ability. Are they confident? Have they been riding all the time? Are they still riding a regular bike up until this point, or has it been 20 years since the last time they jumped on one, which is a very common thing. So this bike actually does have the ability to make a new or a returning rider that's not very strong or very confident at this point be very comfortable riding a bike like this. The other thing is that it does have an LCD backlight display. It's a really just a decent, nice display. Nothing really super special about it, but it is very functional, very easy to read, and I really do like it. It's actually a good display all in all. And let's move over to now the power. I did mention a few times already, it does have a 500 watt hub motor. This is a brushless gear motor that's on it. The other thing that it does come with is a 3 amp charger. Now this charger, a lot of bikes come with 2 amp chargers, and now that bigger batteries are coming in, you have a 3 amp. So the amount of amps that you have, this is how many basically amps it's putting out. And because the battery is a 16 amp hour battery, then you can kind of estimate that it'll be about 5 to 6 hours to charge up this battery. Now if you came with a regular 2 amp charger for something this big, you'd be looking at almost 8 hours to recharge it. So it is considered a quick charger, which is a nice feature that they've actually put in there. The other thing about this bike, it is 62 pounds, which might sound heavy, but in actuality, that's actually not that bad for a bike, especially an e-bike that has a 500 watt motor and that is the size that it is. The other thing is that 62 weight is with the battery in it. So if you ever do need to lift this bike up and like put it in a rack, or hang it on a wall, or take it somewhere where you need to make sure that you're moving it around, that's going to require lifting. One thing you can do is you can take out the battery so that you're not lifting the weight of full 62 pounds. Because this battery is 16 amp hours, it's quite heavy. I would guess maybe about 9-10 pounds. So you're only lifting a 50 pound bike, which is a bike that's reasonably light enough that most people can actually lift it up. So keep that in mind. This is just the beginning specs that we're looking at here, and then we're going to go over some of the components that this bike actually has as well. Again, I did mention we have a 27-inch round tire, so this is like same size as the mountain bikes or those type of bike tire sizes that a lot of people are very comfortable with. Also, it's only about 2.4 inches wide, which means it's a road bike and there's less drag, so it helps the bike actually have a good amount of basically feel of the road, and it's very comfortable. You can kind of let some of the air out if you want to make a softer ride if you need to, but for the most part, these tires are really good. It also comes with it's the Panasonic brand puncture resistant tires, so it's a better quality tire all in all. And that's another thing that we have here. So the other thing is you have 180 millimeter brakes, and this is the size of the disc rotor. Now there's on common bikes there's between usually 160 and 180, so these has the larger rotors, which means there's better stopping power. Now they are mechanical brakes, they're not the high-end hydraulic, but they work very, very well, very functional. The crank in the front is 170 millimeters. It's just an average crank that you'll be able to go ahead and push the bike. It's not really short or it's not extra long. You have your pedals that come with it and a fairly comfortable seat that's also on there. Here we have a 7-speed Shimano derailleur, which is a very common amount of gears to be able to shift through. So if you're a mountain bike rider, it's something that you'll be very used to. You have a good rear gear range on it as well. Your standard chain. You have a front suspension fork to actually make the ride a lot more comfortable. So this gives you a fork that has actually lockout on it, and also preload. Moving over to the taillights. Now this is one of those bikes that actually has an integrated taillight, which is really nice. So you have a brake light actually with this bike. A cadence sensor, which means that this sensor actually does sense by magnets as you're spinning on the pedals how fast you're spinning, and once it detects that it's actually passing by the sensors that you're actually pedaling the bike, then your pedal assist starts to kick in. So it's a very typical type sensing style that's on there. And you also have a twist throttle, which is a lot like I guess what you say a motorcycle or a moped style right hand twist throttle on there. Some of the other bikes that are on the market, you actually have a left thumb throttle instead. So depending on your preferences, most people can get used to either one very quickly. Twist throttles, I like them a lot. Front light, 48 volt headlight, so you do have a light that will work very functionally. It is quite bright, but I would not say this is a light that you want to depend on to light up, say, a completely dark path. If you're going to be riding at higher speeds, you want probably a bigger light for that to add on. Those are really inexpensive on the market, but this light is very functional to make sure that you are seen at night, and that's one thing that's really good about it. You also have a kickstand here, which is pretty basic. So all in all, this is the overall coverage of the bike that we have. That, you know, I just want to take you on a ride, tell you what we got on here. If you're looking for a bike at $12.99, this is a very good deal for the bike. And KBO's been around. They have a bunch of different e-bikes out there. This is the second KBO bike that I've had. Another KBO bike that I called the Hurricane, I actually bought. I got a good deal on it. It was used because, you know, it was the first road bike that I wanted, and it was a really good bike too. So this is one that is what I would recommend this bike specifically for a various range of riders. And if you're looking for one, you know, again, watch the video that I had before. You can take a look at this bike at ebikeproducts.com/KBO Breeze, and that'll take you to the website. And I hope you like the style, and if there's any comments that you have, please leave it below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.